Live on the wrong side. Hello, 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 everyone. We are live. It's your girls, my T, Callie, and Joy. We are about to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 2. It was good. So I'm going to play our intro, and then we will get into it.
To the money, come on and get this honey. Come on and get it. To the money, come on and come on, come on and come on, yeah. Come on and show you how to get to the money. Come on and come on, come on and come on, yeah. Come on and show you how to get to the money. We ain't gotta hate, it's enough space. Bakery make bread and we get cake. Wait, face beat to the God. I beat all the odds. Stay on the job, get money. In the land of milk and honey. If you're married, keep your legs funny. He wanna eat it 'cause it tastes like honey. Got me feeling like ooh. He love honey like Pooh Bear. Come first like the New Year. What you really tryna do here? I'm a vibe, I'm a mood, yeah. Come on and get this honey. Come on and show you how to get to the money. Come on and get this honey. Come on and show you how to get to the money. Come on and come on, come on and come on, yeah. Come on and show you how to get to the money. Come on and come on, come on.
All right, that was good. Good. Let's see. I don't know if we have anybody on yet. Hopefully they'll come on in a little while. If not, we will get it together. So anyway, what did you all overall think about the episode on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the best. Callie, you go first.
1.
Oh, 1?
Repetitive of every doggone. It was repetitive of last week. Let's just sit and blame Candace. Have a good day. We'll see you at the next reunion. Yeah. I mean,
Really? That's what you got from me?
that's what I got.
I think it's because it ended and last episode number 1 ended with Candace.
Yeah.
And with Candace. And I also have to keep in mind that there are certain clips, hi Denise, that are in repetitive movement. So we see them quite a few times.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah, that's it.
Watch them
And
quite a few times.
Okay. Hi, Denise.
We find ourselves thinking something is an overpound and it's not necessarily so. Because I know since we've been doing this show, I watch stuff way more often. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we get confused because I know that I do.
And I have another question. Like, did they always used to do these sneak peeks? Like, it seems like the sneak peek we watch over and over again in different groups and we post them.
Correct.
And
but
we talk about different things.
They've always,
Crazy.
Bravo used to do sneak peeks on cable. If you have a DVR that would, if you, my current DVR, if you set it for like something new, so anytime a new Housewives of Potomac would pop up, it would record. So that also meant the 15-minute sneak peeks. They used to do it on cable. They no longer do it on cable.
Oh, see, I don't think I ever watched them on cable.
I did. I used to watch them on cable. But a couple of years ago, they stopped and they started doing them digitally. And so I imagine that it's a good promotion. So it has a better digital print. Because unless you're like me, who set your DVR like that, you would totally miss it because it happened random. It could have been in between a below deck and something.
We do, don't we? Yeah.
It's something 45.
So that's what it is. Because I was like, this got to be new. But it's been, now it's reaching more people because it's electronic.
And a lot of shows do that. Because I watch shows on TLC and they don't do it on Lifetime anymore, but they used to, because I used to watch a show called 90 Day Fiance, and I used to always watch the first 50 minutes all the time.
All I gotta say is, when I watch them all the time, I feel like I've seen the reunion. So I think that's another reason why Callie is saying the same thing, because I felt like, didn't I just see this? Is this a rerun? Like, it takes me a minute.
All those little clips, because it was at least 3 clips.
Yeah, it was 3.
I know that, but what they do digitally is, instead of doing straight 15 minutes, they're cutting them up and making like little 4 minutes. So it feels like you're 20 minutes into the whole first segment. You don't even want to. You done already seen.
Because I was like, I ain't got to take notes. I already had notes for the first segment. I ain't gonna lie.
But they definitely have done that over the years because I used to watch it.
Well, I don't know. I like it. I like knowing, but then I feel like I'm seeing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
so I don't know if everybody else feels that way too. But let's get into it because we got to be out of here by 7, and we always talk a lot on Potomac. So it starts off back again, like Joy said, with them still talking about Candace and Mia's situation. Mia says that her mother wanted to tell her story. Do you believe that Mia's mom really wanted to tell her story?
No.
Yes and no. Because I think I can remember.
What my eyes do? I need to stop. Okay, sorry.
I remember when she was in that restaurant with her mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I wondered, was it cut? Because at some point she was talking, and then she flat out asked her mom a question. Her mom said, "I don't want to talk about that."
Mm-hmm, she did.
And then minutes later, she started talking about that. So I wonder, did something happen that was left on a cutting board about her saying, "Mom, we already talked about this. Do you want to do?" Because I believe she swiped her mom? No, I don't believe that.
Okay.
But I don't think but I don't know. And the only reason why I'm saying it is that she gave a lot of details that she didn't have to give.
She did.
She could have easily said, I was an addict. She told details, how long she was in prison, and that's a lot. So, I'm sure if she went through treatment, or if that literally is a part of your recovery. That's why people who are alcoholics and drug addicts, they go to NA or AA and they tell their story. That's a part of their therapy. That's a part of their healing.
They repeat that story all the time, or like when they first started? Do you know?
Oh no, all the time. My mother still goes to NA and AA meetings. Yeah, they conduct them.
Really?
Because I was just thinking she was in jail for 8 years, right? And so I was thinking, when she got out of jail, did she start her therapy, or was it before? But yeah,
it might have been in jail.
Then I wasn't necessarily clear, but you're correct. It could have been in jail. I wasn't clear. But I'm just saying, if you are a person that was an addict and you got out of prison, it's easier, not easy, because you can still get drugs in prison, to be clean in prison. When you come home, it's a little harder. So some people do start going to NA and AA meetings. But I know my mother still tells her story. That is a part of her. It's to the point of nausea for me.
But I don't know. I just feel like it did seem like, well, Candace was like, it didn't seem like it. So
it didn't, because she actually said, "I don't want to talk about it." She actually said those words actually came out of her mouth. So I don't think Candace was necessarily far-fetched.
Right.
But I guess
we got some more stuff.
It seemed so natural for her because she didn't sugarcoat things or leave it out.
Denise, she done told us her charges, so go ahead and post them.
No, don't do that, Denise. You're right.
Go ahead. Well, I want you to. Let's talk about how this.
What I thought was interesting, and which I would have thought would have had a better impact, and hopefully she does do this, is that I think Mia has her own story to tell about narcotics that she has.
Oh, she does. Yeah.
And I would have liked for her to, and they could have cut it. I don't know. I really don't know. She seems to be very open. She doesn't seem like she's the type of person that'll shy away from a story. So she, if you believe what she said on YouTube, she was also an addict.
She was addict, and that's when she got into the joint with a chiropractor to stop doing opiates, because for pain, she did it that way.
And I'd rather hear her tell her story than to tell her mom's. I just think that's really invasive.
Too. And maybe she will next season.
Yeah, and if she comes back. Y'all heard about things that she said on Twitter. And I really hope, I know she probably won't ever see this, but if she does, I really hope she comes back. Yes.
We can send it to a child. Don't think you won't.
She's coming back.
Mia was the perfect combination of bougie. She's beautiful. She got real money.
Yeah.
Made. And she open. She was made for reality.
Did you put that on Twitter? Because I'm like, who wrote this? Because I didn't. Was that you, Jordan? Okay.
She's got real money. I think
I
they
would
think
like
they all
to.
have real money.
I mean,
We all think
regardless
they have
if
real
she's
money.
not your favorite, don't y'all think she made for reality TV?
I mean, she moved
Yeah,
to Potomac,
I like her.
so I'm
I
thinking
like her.
she's staying. Like, why move to
Yeah.
Potomac if
She's
you
a
ain't gonna
perfect-
stay?
Yeah, she's a
Oh, she's perfect.
reality
So
person.
Denise was saying, and I guess we'll get to that. Let's talk, because we are talking about Mia and Candace. Let's talk about how disrespectful Mia was telling Candace to shut up, just like Wendy was disrespectful telling Mia to shut up. So she told Candace to shut the F up, right? Am I wrong or right or wrong?
She did.
Now, why did she do that? Because I don't. Let me look at my
her
notes.
mother though, and that she used her mother for a storyline. She needs to be ashamed of herself. That's what she was saying. She said, "Shut the F up." She said,
Okay.
"No, yeah," and she was like, "Shut the F up." This wasn't an unsolicited like what Wendy did.
Wendy was horrible. She said, "Are you talking? Shut up."
She was like, "Why are you talking? Shut up." That was different. Like they were actually talking to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest. I do think just because she asked her mom a question, she wasn't talking about her mom. It's an unfortunate situation.
Oh, here we go.
I don't.
You're making excuses for her.
I don't think she should. I don't think anybody should talk about Dorothy. I don't like it when people talk about her.
I don't think they should.
I don't think they should. I mean, it's one thing if it was. I understand why people are talking about Dorothy in regards to the episode. That makes sense. But to talk to kind of place judgment on people's moms to me isn't cool.
I agree with that, but I'm not making excuses. I don't think anybody should tell anybody to shut up. Not even Andy should tell them to shut up. I just think that's very disrespectful. But
Andy's not going to tell anybody to shut up. He doesn't even have time to listen.
Yeah, but I'm saying even as the host, sometimes they feel like the host can do a little bit more. But
yeah,
I don't
thought shut up was a cuss word.
Yeah, I mean,
like
you
8 or 9. And she heard somebody say it and told her, that is not a cuss word. Why y'all saying it's a cuss word? I said it is in my house.
It is. You just don't do it. So then Candace had a point that they all cut deep. She said, and I wish they would have got on this more because Karen has said some horrible things to Giselle. And that's why I'm sitting here like, she said, she talked about your vagina. She talked about she was on drugs. She said she was a drunk. I mean, Karen repeated stuff that was in the blogs, and Giselle didn't act crazy like Wendy did. So, why do you think that they accept the other people saying stuff, but not Candace?
I think because there is a level of a respect that, for one, that Giselle and Karen has had for each other. You can go back to the first episode. And you can hear me say when we talked about this, they are friends.
They are friends.
Like they may say some ugly things to each other, but they are friends in real life. So in other words, when all of this goes away, it's the same reason why Nene and Kim can get along. Mm-hmm. Because there is a certain level of respect. It's some things that go for the show, but it's just a place that I won't go. And unfortunately, Candace hasn't been in those kind of relationships yet.
She's not friends enough with them yet. I feel like sometimes,
because if you think about it, Giselle and Candace have. Well, let me be more. Giselle don't go with Candace, but Candace has definitely gone after Giselle. Especially if you watch the after show.
On the after show, she was horrible about Giselle. She was horrible about everybody.
Not some things like when they were saying it's her show was her. I remember just some about was her video low budget. She said yes, but we want her to win. We don't care. That's her baby. We don't want anything bad. There is a certain level of respect, and I think even how Giselle was talking to her, and I like it when they show us a little bit of the back scene.
Oh, I saw that
after they had cut. You could tell that even though because I would have been ticked off at Candace some of the things that she said, but I think there is a level of respect between those two that I've seen that they could handle, and they can handle those jabs and they don't take it personally. But when you can't get there, just like Mia and Candace never got the opportunity to get there. I think that Giselle and Candace have gotten there. And I think that's the same with Robin and Wendy. I mean, Robin and Candace, and even with Ashley. Because I remember Ashley said in the after show that one of the benefits of being Robin's friends, she was like, basically, she 10 toes to the floor.
Yeah, she will ride for you.
She was like one, and she's been on the other end of that, of not being her friend.
She's been on the other end of not being she's been on the other end of not being everybody's friend. Yeah, at one point in time.
Oh yeah,
because she's messier than anybody else on the show. So you're saying her messiness is kind of ignored because of a respect level between them. They can shade and be done.
I don't think that it's ignored.
Oh really?
You said who you talking? Who are we talking about? Karen or Ashley or Candace?
I'm talking about Ashley.
Oh, I think what you talking about. I don't think that Ashley. I don't know. I feel like Ashley, Giselle, and Robin are really good friends.
I think Ashley seasons 1, 2, and 3 was a nightmare.
It was horrible.
She was a nightmare. And if you all are old fans like me who started from the first episode with Potomac when it actually aired, I saw that. We talked about her.
She's still a nightmare.
Weren't nearly as big, and we didn't have nearly as many. The fans weren't as
vocal
as we are.
She's still a nightmare.
It wasn't like that. But season 4 and season 5 was riddled with so much scandal in her house. I like to think it humbled her a little. And it kind of doubled with the fact that she was either pregnant and postpartum.
Yeah, so she might not have been as involved because she was pregnant or postpartum. But she was still messy as heck.
Yeah, they all messy though.
I think there's a difference between being messy and reckless. I think that it's okay.
Messy is messy, reckless is reckless. It's all the same.
I think it's too total. I'm just telling you. You can't be on this show and not be messy.
You got to be messy.
They're not going to hire you. You're going to be fired if you're not messy.
Yeah. Well, that's not always true. Why was Cynthia ever on the show?
Shine wasn't messy.
Neither was Cynthia Bailey.
And she ain't there no more.
I know, but she's been there for 13 seasons.
Actually, you're correct.
So that's not always true.
She is probably one of the few people that rode a coattail for a long time.
Well, she was Nene's friend. But then she became Kenya's friend.
No, but I also think Cynthia had a dynamic at home that was very interesting. She came in there with the wedding situation. She, even though she herself wasn't messy and she wasn't even comfortable being messy, her husband was a whole housewife. That's where Patricia comes from.
Yeah, her husband helped her, and I feel like
her husband
helped her.
A dynamic. He was. Yeah. He was
the messy.
Yes, he was the messy. I mean, for real.
We're talking about Michael now?
No, I'm talking about Peter. That's why I said you made it, because Peter was messy. Yeah. But okay, so let's get back.
Candy ain't messy. For real.
Candy is boring though. I don't know why.
Candy used to bring. It was always one of her assistants.
Yeah.
Somebody just happened to stop by and
somebody.
Don Juan. Her herself, or even her husband,
her mama, her mother,
definitely
that's who it
mama.
was. It was
Candy
her mama.
herself really isn't messy. She was a little messy last season. She was more shady than messy.
Yeah,
but I do think there is a difference between shade and mess and reckless. Reckless, and I would even agree. College saying a woman has an STD is reckless.
That's reckless.
If that woman finds it offensive. But if Giselle don't find it offensive, I can't be defensive on her behalf.
And that's why I was telling somebody,
that's the difference.
It is a difference because when that was from a blog and Giselle didn't react, because she's like, if you can't live off of what people are saying on blogs, being brought up on the show, then maybe this ain't the show for you. And I do feel like, yes, you can be mad because she didn't come for you. But if you still talking about this same thing to this day, it's unbearable. Wendy's unbearable to me. Like I can't take her anymore. But my notes were when Karen and Giselle kind of hugged it out. What did y'all think?
I don't need to see them do that. It's such a repetitive thing. Nothing new and fancy. Just let me just grab your butt and we'll be fine.
What was a dry hump?
They actually hadn't done that.
They haven't ever dry humped each other.
But
they have just been fighting
you know
with
what?
one another.
And when she said that dry hump, it made me think back to season 1 when Robin said, "Black girls don't dry hump." Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
When Michael was on the boat pulling out his private parts. I thought that was really funny when she said that.
Giselle and Karen, they dry humped each other. But I said, how I know Karen and Giselle are truly friends is evident at the reunion. They understood the assignment that people liked them as frenemies, but they realized it went too far. They still would do it, but not as much. I bet producer Giselle called a production meeting lunch with Karen. That was my notes. Because you could tell.
I think that Giselle, she does. I don't know if she does. Maybe some of her people does, because Giselle doesn't do anything negative on social media. That is
not at all.
But I did wonder, because I remember getting we started getting a tip, and they were saying this is where the STD comes from. It was actually from the first day of filming at Wendy's house. Or not the first day, but the first episode at Wendy's house about them. There was a tip that Giselle had an STD. We got that early.
Hey,
and I remember posting, somebody had talked about it, and I remember posting, and I added, not that I'm an influencer, Giselle and Karen. I remember thinking, if y'all think we want to see y'all fight for a whole season, y'all are deluded.
We said that on one of the shows. We was like, and if you're gonna sit here and talk about an STD, that's just going too far. And it did happen. But I think because Giselle, and this is another thing, and I want to get
it really did. Karen never said that she had an STD. The blog did.
Right. Karen inferred. That's the inferred it.
But hot box isn't negative.
But she said it wrong. Because Andy said fiery box.
He's saying a fiery. That's not what he's supposed. The slang is burnt box.
Burnt box. But I don't know if we can say that on Bravo. But probably can. They probably can say that on Bravo.
I think somebody told her that. And Karen just remembered hot
box
and said hot box and fiery box and forgot that it was actually burnt box.
Burnt box.
If you Google burnt box means STD. Ask your man.
We got a few people on. Most men want a hot box.
Right.
We got a few people on. Y'all keep talking. So, okay, so what do you think? And I want to
think Karen should ever say something like that on TV about anybody.
I agree.
I don't think she should have said that. I don't think she should have said she was a drug addict. I don't think she should have said she was a drunk. I don't think she should have said she was a broken age from Hampton University. I don't feel like she said so many bad things, but people let it pass. But if Candace would have said any of that, people would have lost their mind.
I don't think it's about the reaction.
I was about to say that because Giselle,
it's about the reaction.
Giselle said, we do not react. She said, I don't react to the stuff Karen says. And I think that's why it doesn't live long.
Yeah, it doesn't live long.
What do you mean it doesn't live long?
Hey, Charlotte.
It doesn't. In other words, that blog, the same blog that said that
Karen
we
also
talking about
Wendy
husband. We ain't talking about what's her name's STD. Because it literally
she had a reaction
off her shoulder.
Yeah, she can't.
Like Wendy has made every episode. It has gotten to the point where if you look at these groups, people are saying it must be some truth to this for her to go on and on and on about it. Like nobody said that about Giselle and
the burnt box.
Nobody talked about it. But we talked about it that Sunday,
and that was it.
That was it.
But I think it's because
you just
hold on. But Denise said something. I want to go back. It doesn't matter. Giselle should not have added her 2 cents, which gave the fans to take it and run with it. Now Wendy changed her body because of the rumors. Giselle should have. I feel like this, and I said this in many groups. I feel like Giselle should have came at us with. We understand you had a lot of criticism with the fans because everything they have said about you, you have changed. They talked about your butt. You got a bigger one. They talked about your shape. You changed your shape. They talked about your Jermaine Jackson sideburns. You changed them. Your skin color, you making lighter. You're 4 degrees. Now you think you can write a business plan with 1 paragraph. Like you've changed everything that they've said. It wasn't about the rumors. It was about the fans. They made Wendy change. And I think that's what Giselle should have came. She probably shouldn't have said anything, but it's you cannot say that that's not what happened.
It's not a person that watched this season and last season and can say that the Wendy that we saw last season is the same person. Her personality is just different. And I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying it's different.
What do you think? Do you think she's different? What do you think about? What do y'all think about Wendy? Everybody who's watching.
I know she getting on my nerves. It's like she's sitting on ready. and let me also say this. The very stereotype that she doesn't want to portray, she is. She's sitting, when you sit on ready, and I was watching her, even her body language yesterday.
Oh gosh, I might have known.
All I kept thinking is she's playing right into this stereotype.
I made a note because
you really want to be the angry black girl.
When they replayed her saying that stuff about everything that's happening to you is karma for God punishing you, go look and see how Wendy reacted. Go look and see. She was like, yes. And she snapped, like she was proud of that moment. And I don't understand, because even Giselle is like, you seem like you're happy about my misery.
Yeah, like that.
Like nobody has been happy. Even if Eddie was cheating on you, none of us would have been happy about that.
Yeah.
But you're sitting here reveling in this. Even Karen's coming from a place, which I don't know if it's honest or not, of I think you're a smarter woman than that. Like, why did you take him back?
Karen's not an honest person.
I'm just saying. Hold on, what's they saying? Maybe.
Well, I do think I like what she said to her. She said, girl, if you tell your story right, you gonna win.
You gonna win.
I kind of think that was a sincere conversation of comedy.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so you think this is the real Wendy? Well, I wish she would have showed us the real Wendy, because I don't think I would have liked her as much. Indy did with Indy. That's what Karen wears. Okay, Indy did a complete 180, and she became unsurfable. She was condescending, obnoxious, and a know-it-all. So that's what people feel about Wendy. Exactly. Wendy is annoying, and she's not the same from last season.
She's very annoying.
I mean, did y'all see? I don't think I have it. I'm not going to put it up.
Like, I don't. Now, this is what's bad. We think we having a colorism conversation. Y'all ain't seen one. Next year, if this is the Wendy that she's going to present and she's pissed off and angry, because I'm like, it's all I have to, you can almost write a book on colorism if you watch the after show. And I can honestly remember thinking, why did they pit them against each other? They shouldn't have put them together. I hate that they're next to each other, because you have to listen to the conversation. Like, everybody could be having a conversation. People are laughing. Because remember, their producers kind of give them a snippet of a situation. They ask them a question, and then they comment. And the after show, and every time they got to Candace or with Wendy, it was negative. They were so bad. And I just kept saying, I don't know if they're doing this on purpose, because if I've seen colorism in the show, I thought that was. And it was just like, and I know that their questions, I don't think were negative, but they're just playing right into the hands. And it could be editing. It could be editing. But you don't give them that ammo. Like, you almost have to make a conscious decision to smile. Like, have y'all ever seen her smile? Like, this girl is no mad.
But Candace, even when they were going off on Candace, she still would smile or make a joke or do something. Even when they were coming at her, even after when her and Wendy went and sat down, she was like, well, I do have a smart mouth. Sometimes I am harsh. I mean, and she was laughing about it. She was joking about it. Yeah. Even when they go in on like Giselle and Robin, they laugh. Like Andy will repeat, well, you remember when such and such said about you. But sometimes you have to laugh. Sometimes you can't just sit there the whole time.
Yeah. She acts like, she has happy and this, but she acts angry and angrier. And I don't understand where it's coming from.
You don't understand where it's coming from?
Well, Wendy's anger coming from? Where's Wendy's anger coming from?
I don't.
Well, just going based on what she's saying, I don't know. There could be some truth to the rumors that are out there. But she's feeling like she is being attacked by these other people. They're coming from her. They're coming for her marriage, whether they really are or not. So we know where it's coming from, how she's reacting to it. I think we would like for it to be different.
But she got 4 degrees. You don't think she can decipher?
You got 4 degrees and you can't articulate that in a sentence, though. Right. She got 4 degrees and she can't articulate that. My point
she can't do a business plan either. So her skill is not in business planning.
It could be editing. I always have to remember
it could be.
But at no point in this whole season have you heard Wendy say, I was hurt, I was frustrated, I thought you were my friend, I feel played. At no point
you don't hear
nothing. All you see is angry.
What they did say, but Wendy never said it, was in the after show that Wendy felt like Giselle was her big sister.
Okay. But that's still not, that's somebody asking.
But that's what I'm saying. So maybe that was them trying to give her a
right. She
didn't say it.
The way that you, like, all of her emotions are angry. I'm sad, I'm angry. I'm pissed off, I'm angry. I'm disappointed, I'm angry. I don't know where, so when I say I don't know, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know where her feelings are coming from because she has never expressed it. All she keeps saying is "stop coming for my husband," and everybody keeps saying
that's her way of expressing
she's really not. She's still not coming for your husband because even in the comments about the rumors, are still about Wendy.
Hold on, so Wendy doesn't seem angry to me. But what? Okay, so Denise, and I'm going to read this, but I want to know when did they talk about this Eddie Ruman after Williamsburg, which was like the second or fourth, even third or fourth episode. When did anybody else really talk about
shady party?
After Reasonably Shady Party, they asked a question about would you be mad if your husband? Da, da, da. So after that, when else did they come for it? Because there was some more episodes after that. Did anybody ever talk about Eddie again?
No.
Wendy doesn't seem angry to me at all. When a person feels attacked, they go in protective mode. I can see that, but I'm not going to take it with me everywhere I go.
Right.
Now, life experience. Well, it could be her life experience. Sometimes you don't have to tell people you hurt, but her actions.
No, you're correct. You don't. Look, I'm not saying that she has to tell it, but we're watching a show, and if we're watching a show where we're looking at a group of women that are allegedly friends, you decide whether or not you're going to try to move forward or not. That's literally the entire purpose of this show. It's a group of friends. You wanted to be a part of this friend group.
Well, it's a group of strangers that some of them are being forced to be friends, and that's why it don't always work.
That is true. And I feel like she came in, like Joy has said, wanting Karen's approval. She got Karen's approval. She felt like Karen and Giselle was going at it. So she like, ooh, let me do it too. But like I told somebody in the group, and I can't remember which one it was, Wendy's going to be so mad when Karen and Giselle are friendlier next season. Because she's going to be by herself. Because everybody is friends with Giselle, no matter what. Candace, because even after they had their little get back and forth, Giselle and Candace, which I want to talk about a little bit more. When they got done, they were talking on the side. You could hear them saying, well, Candace, I just want you to not react so bad. And then Candace like, well, I don't mean to. Like, they were having like a friendly conversation about it. You know what I mean? Like, they're friends. They went out and partied, her with Giselle and Ashley after it. I feel like Ashley and Candace punking us a little bit too sometimes. But anyway.
Well,
so who is even talking about her husband?
Working on it. I think they're working on it.
Who's talking about her husband?
It will do her well. Because Candace needs to lighten up. She needs to have a season without so much venom. It's okay.
Oh my God.
She does.
Joy. No, she doesn't. She's fine.
Let's say it one more time, Joy, because I was reading Denise.
I said I don't think this season without so much venom. You can Candace? Yeah. Because my whole thing is, if Candace put her shade, said whatever she wanted to say, and then let up, it wouldn't be an issue. But it just, in my opinion, it goes from one scene to the next. It went from the Reasonably Shady Party to the bedroom.
Yeah, but before it got to the bedroom, it was an issue. Before it got to the bedroom, it was an issue.
It drags on and on and on.
Before it got to the bedroom, it was an issue.
She would say her piece.
I got you. I agree with Joy a little bit on this.
And then let it go.
And the only reason is because I feel like when people argue, they let it rest. For after a while, we're done. But it seems like she followed her throughout that, and it could have been editing, but she followed her throughout that every room in that house and just went at her. And Mia didn't say nothing for a long time, and it just kept on going, kept on going.
And Mia say one thing, and then it'll stop. Mia say one thing and then you
And
be
then
like,
it's like
oh
back
crap.
on. But I
And it
think
started
Candace ain't
all
gonna do
over
that.
again.
But Joy, you said that it would not have been an issue had she not continued on. It was
I
an
didn't say
issue.
it was gonna be. I didn't say it wasn't gonna be an issue.
Please
I just said
rewind. Can
that
you
I wish
rewind the
that
I
live?
can't
You
rewind.
just
I'm
said
not
it,
Bravo.
Joy. You just said it, sweetie. You did.
I missed it because I'm reading these
if
comments.
it wouldn't go from one scene to another, like say whatever you gotta say, cuss her out, say whatever you gotta say, and let it and move on.
Do I need to cut your nails?
Even if the situation isn't resolved there.
But okay, I want to address this. Just I do not think Giselle is right about everything. I will talk about a whole bunch of stuff she's wrong about. But I feel like because I feel like she should have.
Me. Just say Joy. Don't say
that's
me.
Joy.
It's
okay,
me.
maybe it is Joy. It's not me because I do feel like she should have said, Wendy, I feel like you changed. I feel like it might be because she should have went to her. Even when Wendy seemed like she was mad, she still should have been like, I need to go to her myself. So I feel like that was wrong. Now it's over with, Wendy. It's time to move on. Do you know how many times they talked about Ray? Karen moved on. They talked about Michael. Ashley has moved on. They talked about Chris. Candace has moved on. They talked about one. They move on. You on this show. You cannot live in this. You cannot sit in this. You're going to make the fans dislike you, which they already have. They're starting to. If y'all ever go on her Twitter, they tore her a new one last night, y'all.
Last night, if y'all didn't know, Wendy posted that Giselle, she did 2 Twitters. Let me put it up.
They were bad. I think I have them. I can pull them up.
The first one says, I find it disheartening that when my 2-year-old was fighting for her life, this was the week of Halloween, by the way.
Yeah.
That when my 2-year-old was fighting for her life in the ICU for a week, you, Giselle Bryant, were the only one of my hashtag RHOPs castmates who did not text, call, nothing. Instead, you went on the real daytime and shaded me while I was at my lowest point. And people, like, I don't think she was expecting what came.
She wasn't.
Oh, and let me also say this. She actually said before that, she posted, I am a mother first. I firmly believe children are off limits. If Grace was hurt, I apologize. As the clip shows, my facial expression was a reflection of being kicked out of an event, and I was visibly upset. That's what she
that's not the only time she looked at Grace like that either. Go back when Grace went to go move Candace's car.
Yeah.
She looked at her like that again. That wasn't the only time. I don't know why that's the only clip they showed.
And then she put, our issues have nothing to do with your daughter. So why are you, if y'all got issues, why are you expecting her to call you, text you, send you something when your baby is in a hospital?
And everybody was like, Wendy, girl, stop it. Like, if you knew this was an issue, why to come to Twitter? Why you over here on Twitter waiting till after the reunion?
That's because because she was getting some heat about Grace. And so she wanted to get the heat off of her.
Denise, listen, I'm not trying to gang up on Wendy, but I like Wendy. I do. But I can't this season. I can't with her. I mean, I can't. She's the only one I cannot deal with right now. I don't have any sympathy. When
last season, I wish y'all could find my I was a Wendy stain. I was excited about somebody that was Black, educated. Her husband was an attorney.
Yes.
Power couple 1-on-1 on paper. And I thought that Wendy brought a common sense to the group. I really thought she was replacing Karen. I ain't gonna lie. And I thought
Wendy, because she was everything. Candace,
was a little older than what she really is. Yeah. I thought she was replacing Karen because Karen had tweeted that she was talking about right before the pandemic. Karen actually posted, I wonder, is this a good time to leave or something?
She did, because Ray went to Florida.
She tweeted that. So I really thought they were bringing in Wendy so Karen could transition out. I really did think that. And she just had a common sense of maturity to the group.
I missed a lot. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's why I was kind of disappointed in who I'm looking at now. I really did like her last season. I thought I didn't necessarily, we kind of looking back on how she treated Ashley, you kind of saw a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Dr. Wendy, comment.
They went back and showed that too. But yeah. I think what Giselle did apologize to Wendy. They just didn't show it on camera. She apologized to Wendy and she asked her to talk to her when she was ready to come to her and talk about it. She even said it in the pool. Wendy, I'm ready to talk when you're ready to talk. I want to hash this out. And Wendy never did.
She should apologize. She should apologize. I wish she had never even taken that to Ashley before taking it to her.
I agree with that. I wish she would have never. And I feel like she said, well, both of our men have been in the paper and we can kind of see what she's going through and empathize with what she's going through. And maybe we should be the ones to help her out because we've been through this before in reality TV. But I still think she should have not involved Ashley. But I think Ashley need a check. Okay. Y'all don't want her to earn it with Michael. Giselle trying to make sure she get a check. What about when Robin mentioned how different Wendy is and Wendy was still being mean?
Yeah.
That was even
at that point she was in
that's the reason why Giselle didn't bring it to her.
And you know what? And to me, it seems like Candace and Robin had a conversation about this. But Candace didn't get into it because she said, remember, Candace, we had this conversation about how different Wendy was and it wasn't about the way she looked. And Candace just nodded her head like, girl, I don't want to talk about this right now. Like, I think a lot of people are feeling that way. I already showed that one. So let's see. She said, when my kids were in the hospital, I haven't even thought about someone I wasn't cool with not reaching out. That was a reach. I mean, right. Like, I'm sitting here like, what are you talking about, girl? And that's what everybody's point was. So here's Denise. Wendy made a point because when Ashley was having her baby and Candace was going in, it was a problem. But when Giselle goes in on Wendy, what did she say really that was going in? It was nothing like what Candace said. She might have answered a question that they asked on the reel because they said, this was a question I do remember because I watched. They said, so Wendy has called you insecure. They played the clip from when Wendy said it on Watch What Happens Live. And the only thing Giselle said was, if I'm insecure, the woman saying that this coming from a woman who has changed her body and her face, calling me insecure. That's all she said about Wendy. When Ashley was having that baby, what did Candace say about her? Now they were both going at it. It was way more than that.
Oh, you talking about when she was calling her a bed wench?
And
she called her a bed wench. She said she was a concubine. She said her husband was an overseer. And although she didn't call her a slave on Twitter, she then with her at the table at the shore said yes because he drives his slaves. And she said, so you calling me a slave? So, and this is rich. Coming from the woman that's always pointing out colorism.
Oh, please.
Husband.
Ashley went in there on Chris, asking Chris questions because they know that Candace is going to respond.
Yeah, she got to stop responding.
Everything that Candace said to her.
I feel like
time. You do know that when she called her the bad witch and all of that stuff, she had actually stopped.
So
go
what?
back
What does that mean?
She had actually stopped because she was literally in the hospital. Not figuratively, literally.
Okay.
So so do you think, Callie, because I know you and Denise, and I love Candace, but do you think if Candace stops reacting to Ashley wouldn't have nothing to do on the show?
No, I don't think that. No, I don't think that. I think if Ashley and everybody else who starts trouble with Candace, if they wouldn't do that, then there would be no trouble on the show, maybe. All Candace is doing is reacting.
You can't say that Ashley started with her. You can't say that.
Joy,
I don't know.
Can you please put up some videos? What do you mean? We put a clip up every doggone week when Ashley is starting trouble with the girl. What are you talking about?
This season?
Yeah. Joy, what is that? Do anybody got some braille or something? What do you
Their very first interaction, because Ashley actually literally had
I'm missing stuff. I agree with Callie. Hold on, y'all.
Outside, because they didn't have any issues when they had that baby shower, or not baby shower,
Ashley started everything.
That was their only interaction before she had her baby.
And there was
nothing negative that day.
Ashley started the mess at dinner.
Ashley didn't start that mess at dinner. She was in the middle of a conversation and she called her home.
Joy, why are you tripping right now? You know doggone well Ashley started all of that. She's the one that put the question
this is not
with
true.
Chris just to start the trouble.
Okay, let's get to this
foolery. But you're talking about weeks later.
It don't matter if it was weeks later or 5 seconds later. The fact is, Candace responds to the trouble that people bring to her. It doesn't matter.
So we're gonna agree to disagree. Let's move on.
It doesn't matter.
Their first interaction this season was actually at that pamper party, and there was anything negative. So the next time they would see each other would be at Robin's birthday party dinner, and literally, Giselle asked Ashley a question, and while she was answering it, Candace jumped in and said, "You bought your whole
facts."
But that
facts. Absolutely
a fact. You're correct.
Absolutely a fact. Ashley brought her wide body behind, or whatever the words was Candace said, to that event, dropped a bomb, and then left.
Well, she had to go back to her baby.
That comes later. They hadn't even gone there.
I don't care. She still started it. She came there and she started trouble while she was there.
Okay, so I think Michael, I really do think this. Okay, I think Michael and Ashley were holding on to the previous happened, and Candace responded. I do think that Candace's issue with Ashley, and she talked about it a little bit, and she kind of cried about it, was the Monique thing. Her writing that statement has really made her have this grudge. She even said, I don't know if I can get over it. And I think that's the difference between Candace and Wendy. Is Candace can, and that's maybe why I like her, she can express herself and she can let you know, this is why I feel this way about you, Ashley. And I don't think I'm going to get over it. So every time I see you, you might be a bad wench because I'm mad at you. You know what I mean?
And it's not crazy about her as I am this season. I have been very vocal about, I respect that.
Yeah.
That Candace can articulate her feelings in a very mature way.
She can.
Where it's just like, you find if you're on the other end of it, you have to say, well, dang, I didn't realize that.
Right.
Let me apologize. Because she can. Wendy has not been able to do that. She doesn't have that.
But has she forgive? So I have a question about this. So she shouldn't forgive Ashley, but should she forgive Karen for trying to get her fired? Because Karen called the executive, not Andy.
No,
she called the executives of Bravo and said that this lady is, threatening me.
But she said though that she was still mad at Karen.
She did, but she don't treat Karen like she treats Ashley.
Well, and Karen don't treat her like Ashley treats Candace.
Karen told her she was gonna tune her out. Like, we gonna tune you out.
That was at the reunion yesterday. That was at the reunion.
I know, but she didn't go in on Karen at all.
All I kept thinking is that's a real warning.
It is.
When I heard that, I said, look, we ain't mafia. This ain't no mafia. But I kept saying, I don't know if Candace heard that, but that was a real warning.
That was.
That's a real warning that Andy and them should really sit around and think, you just gonna let Karen and them drive this entire network?
I don't think that Karen can tune her. I don't like that. And I wanted to bring that up because I did say, like the week before, that if I wouldn't talk to Candace, but I didn't mean tune her out. I just mean I wouldn't try to spar with her verbally because she goes too far. I would still talk to her. I don't want her off the show. But the way Karen worded it was, we gonna tune you out like they did Mariah on Married to Medicine. You ain't gonna even be able to deal with us.
Don't think it ain't possible.
Like they also tried to do Candace. And what happened? Monique ended up being the one they tried to zoom out. That's crazy. Karen needs to stop with the threats. The way she's got to stop that. She was born and raised in the ghetto worse than Monique was, the way she's acting. But I don't understand
why nobody gets mad at her, though. Nobody gets mad at Karen.
Maybe because they know Rihanna like her or something stupid. Because it ain't on her own merit.
That's because also Karen has a nice, nasty way of doing things.
Karen is nasty, period. Ain't nothing nice, nasty about it.
Karen me out and I would laugh at her because I don't think most people watching takes her serious.
I mean, Giselle, because she laughed at everything Karen said about her.
I just think that they laugh at it. If you are a fan of this show, in every single solitary reunion. We haven't heard it yet in this one.
Exactly.
Whether or not Karen can tell the truth has been a subject. Karen is a known liar. She makes up stuff. She pulls stuff out of her neck. So when she says things, I don't think anybody says, "Oh, you know, it's some truth to it." Although it was people were trying to figure out what was Sing Sing, and people were trying to associate Sing Sing
with a mental
allegedly a mental institution. And I kept saying, "But Sing Sing is a prison." I was like, "So
do you think it's because she's old?"
I don't think she's old, but
no, that's what Denise just said. She's
trying to be cool.
She said that Karen is 70.
Karen tries to be cool. You want me to tell you what I really think? Put that advisory thing up there. It's up there.
It's up there. Okay. It's up there. Oh, the main one. Oh,
yeah,
okay, go ahead.
So here's what I think. Karen has. Okay, there you go. All right,
there we go.
Karen has a lot of people around her, young people, doing her makeup, her hair, helping her dress. And a lot of those are men. And a lot of those men are readers.
Okay, that's how we're going to say they're readers. That's a good way to put it.
Right. And they're younger. So I think Karen listens to their conversations. And I know that this is happening because her wig maker and Giselle don't get along. Because he goes in on Giselle.
Yeah.
And I think Karen listens to those conversations. They give her stuff to say, and then she tries to remember to say them. So when you hear stuff like Sing Sing and Hot Box and stuff that she tried to say, she's trying to remember what people told her. And just like all old people, myself included, we say things off. You know how old people be trying to say the new slang words?
Like I'm on fleek.
I'm on flick.
I'm on flick. We done flowed out. Flowed out.
Right. And I think that's what Karen is doing. She's 58.
Well, so this is what Denise says. Karen says she's 58, but she's really
70.
There we go.
She does look older then, but she looks good.
She does with surgery. Moving on.
I didn't say that.
I didn't mean to say
floating around that Karen didn't go to Giselle's birthday
I do
party.
too. I love
Karen. Her that her mama was sick, but she was in New York getting some
you was getting some work done.
Right.
I'm sure that I played that clip. So I like shifty sliding wig Karen. I did too because I feel like if that would have been my wig, I would have been like, bravo, bravo, bravo.
See, I didn't like it how Ashley and them used to tag team her. I actually used to feel sorry for Karen. I used to literally think it was elder.
You called it elderberries.
Because they used to. Apparently, Karen has really gotten drunk and said things off camera. Because I do believe that she said that stuff that Ashley say. Ashley don't tell no lies. So I believe that Karen got drunk and did say that about Ray, but she shouldn't have said.
She shouldn't have repeated it. That's right.
Yeah, has Giselle ever called Karen an alcoholic?
They all say Karen date drunks. She calls them drunk during the day. They've never said she's an alcoholic. They say they love drunk Karen.
Yeah.
And then Karen got the nerve to call Giselle an alcoholic.
A drunk, an alcoholic, a drug addict, a whore.
Remember that clip? This is so funny to me every time I think about this. Bravo, be ready. When Karen was talking to a scholar and said, I would never be so classy as to call somebody a drunk. And then they immediately go to college. Giselle, and you are a drunk.
She said the exact. Yeah, in the book, I can't remember what it's called, but they said that. Who said it? Was it Katie? I think it was Katie said that Karen didn't want to look old, so she would use clear tape and tape her skin back to try to appear younger. I guess it's before she.
Katie, I forgot all about Katie.
Yeah, she loves Fireballs.
Drug her.
So
Fireballs. Ain't that like whiskey?
It's whiskey. It's a type of whiskey.
Ain't that
it's hot? It's very hot, strong.
Karen seems like she drinks Mad Dog 2020.
She probably do with Ray. So Wendy, so Wendy feels she's no different. Karen, okay, we tuned out. So I want to get back up here.
Heidi says Karen is a liability.
Yeah,
Her
she
lies
said
should be ignored. Should not be ignored. I don't think anybody watching the show takes Karen seriously.
But they should,
don't.
because she's trying to take down Candace.
I
She's
don't
trying
like
to put
that.
this mental thing over Candace, and y'all supporting that.
I really feel like she wants Monique back because she did a thing with Monique.
Yes.
And it seemed like she was trying to get, because she was like, Monique, we're the only ones who live in Potomac. Then she said, oh yeah, Mia lives here now. And then they were like, well, Bethesda, they did Giselle's zip code and was like, it's not far, but it's still not Potomac. And and like, she's trying to get Monique back and get Candace out. That's what I feel from when I watched that.
But Monique could come back if she wanted to, can she? I mean, she didn't get fired.
But I don't think Candace will film with Monique.
Well,
if they wanted to get rid of Candace, they would have brought back Monique.
That's why I feel like they like her. So Fireball is good. Yeah, Fireball is strong.
But gives me heartburn.
Fireball is a drink. Fireball. That's the name of a drink.
I've seen the bottle.
Yeah.
It looks like a box bottle and a red top. I've seen it, but I've never paid any attention. Since this show, I've seen it in like stores and stuff.
Really, Denise? So Denise feels like Wendy didn't do nothing to Grace, and kids shouldn't be off limits. If you want, they have to show their kids. That's why they didn't want to keep Kenya on, and that's why what's her name didn't get on full time, Latoya and Sutton either, because they can't show their kids. They want to show them in a family dynamic.
It's one thing if they're adult children, that's different. They sign their own waiver.
Right, but like Gia
did. Which kids, I still think that was wrong. Can't even sign their own waiver. It's just like Robin probably signs a waiver for her. What she does, one of her boys don't want to be bothered. He ain't never seen on the TV. The other boy will at least sit there and do a scene or something with her. Mm-hmm. I don't think children under 18 should be on limits. I don't think you should talk about. I don't think kids should be on limits if they're adults and they're just at their mom's house.
Right.
Now, if they're having opinions about the ladies, hey, go at it. But if Grace was on Twitter going off on Wendy or whatever.
Okay, I want to put this up here too. So this is how I know there's proof. If you go back and watch when they were doing Portia and what was that show? The Chat Room, and Karen was there. Giselle said on there, I apologize to Wendy. They just didn't show it. And Karen co-signed. Now we know Karen is a liar, but she ain't going to co-sign to anything positive about Giselle unless it's true.
That's true.
And Karen co-signed that they did not show that.
And they showed something in the after show where they were asking a question. And then Giselle said, well, I did apologize. And I asked you to call me when you're ready to talk. When you're ready to talk.
Okay, that's what I want to say.
Something like, an apology still stands or something. And when you're ready to talk, it's still out there. And she actually said that at that flowery thing.
Yeah, she did. She said that to Wendy. I'm ready for you to talk to. I apologize. I don't think it's true. You know what I mean? I think it's a miscommunication. Mia's little party, even though Mia's kind of messy, did heal a lot of things. I will say that. So this right here, I don't agree with. And this is why I feel like she doesn't get a pass. Giselle gets no pass with her castmates or the viewers. They can't stand this lady. Like, and she's light skinned.
Who? When you say they can't, who? What are we talking about?
The viewers cannot stand her.
It was negative. What was negative?
The viewers I'm sorry. The viewers can't stand Giselle?
No, they hate her.
Why? I never noticed that, I guess.
Girl, what groups are you not in?
Well,
because every group,
look,
Giselle gets all the heat.
Obviously, I'm in a different group than the one you enjoy because you don't even think colorism is on the show. So we definitely
I don't think it's between the castmates.
But it is.
So tell me your example of why you think it's. And I'm going to ask everybody. Do you think? I know I'm pulling up stuff because y'all was going so fast, and I want to go back to because y'all were talking about stuff, and I want to go back to the colorism thing, but we keep getting off.
Well, I think mine just goes right back to the very beginning of the show. Just the plain thought of Mia going in on Wendy the way she did with the whole hand gestures, blah, 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 over and over and over again, get to over there doing the same thing to Candace over and over and over again. But yet when Candace did that to anybody else, it was always a problem because it was Candace.
I agree with that, Heidi.
So when we look and see that, what is it?
I
When
agree
we
with what
look and
Heidi's
see
saying.
that, it's clear to some of us that that's definitely what it appears to be. And, some people think they just don't like them. Well, you don't have to like them. But when you think of, first of all, they should have never asked Ashley, or Ashley should have never been the one to have said, colorism, let's sit and discuss it now. You're the wrong one to discuss that, Ashley. Shut up. And
Well,
then,
yeah.
and then Andy didn't ask any questions to her about anything. He should have brought up examples.
They want to make this show about that.
They're not gonna let it live.
When I was watching that, I said,
It's not a matter of what they're going to make the show. If it came up on the reunion, she brought it up. It's a serious thing that they see in the blogs every single day. I think it would have done some kind of good to at least ask a question, discuss an example, because Candace gave how many examples? And nobody's going to talk about that?
Of colorism among the cast members?
Yes.
Okay, tell me some examples.
No, she did.
I don't remember, so tell me.
Yes, she did. So, but that goes back to what your definition of colorism
She wasn't talking about colorism. Candace was talking about how
Joy,
people are saying that her comments are worse than what Karen has said, or Giselle has said, or so-and-so has said. That wasn't an example of colorism. That was about, why am I getting the heat? Why am I considered reckless? Reckless tongue, unless you're trying to associate her tongue with colorism.
All I want for Christmas this year is to get through a serious comment without being interrupted by Joy.
Okay, so give me the examples of colorism, she said. Denise.
I can't now.
No, Denise can do it. She wants to talk about it. Go ahead on, Denise.
You can roll your eyes all you want. But the fact is, when I am talking about any of that, what you do is just you talk over it and over it and over it. No, joy, and you never stop. So you try to do that as if that's just going to stop the show. And I'm going to let you stop the show for y'all say I'm colorist today.
Colorist against who?
Next question, because Joy's talking. Go ahead.
What are y'all talking about? Who's colorist? We ain't colorists on here.
I don't know. Are we not? Because Joy definitely ain't letting me talk.
And that's colorism?
That's colorism.
I don't know. Well, Joy, we wouldn't know, because when somebody other than you was trying to talk and explain it, you cut them off. Do you not?
That's not colorism. That may be disrespectful.
It might be a matter of the definition, but when I was going to speak on that, what happened?
Girl.
Callie, you have an echo. I don't hear echo.
Obviously, it's not echoing enough, Denise, because look, just move on.
What's going on, baby?
They will with the racial issues with Nene. Yeah.
I really think they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think they really want to go there. And the reality is, there's just conversations that Andy isn't really equipped to even be a part of.
Because he's a white man.
One of the things that he said, I think somebody posted.
I posted a video.
That he was saying that Nicki Minaj could have said that he couldn't say. And he whispered that. And then Robin said, yeah, that's because he's a white guy. There were just certain things he could have never said.
I mean, I agree with this too. I think that, and I've said this on, and that's the viewers though, not amongst the cast. But I do feel like when people talk about when Giselle and Robin and all them, they call them green-eyed heifers, them light-skinned girls, they ain't even pretty. Like, it's like they talk about their color too. And I think it's the viewers honing in on the different color skin of them more than anything. Yeah. And I hate that we do that as people. I don't know why.
I saw, which was kind of jacked up, I saw somebody refer to Wendy as Wesley Snipes.
And I don't like that either.
And I was like, I don't like this girl, but
that's not nice.
That ain't. Yeah, I don't necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fight with anybody. So
there's an undertone there that I don't.
Just let everyone.
But I think a lot of times. I don't
know how many calls you set in on. I rarely get to speak when I'm saying something serious. So maybe you've noticed that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's have a serious conversation. Let's not hold on to this because I don't want the show to. So let's move on and continue to talk and not interrupt each other. So let's see. What else did I have? Are we done with the colorism thing? I really want to talk about that, but I think it's causing issues, so I'm not going to keep on with it. I'm just not. I really feel like it would have been a good conversation for us to have. Let's see what else I have. So why did they bring Mia disaster on Twitter, and she still claims she has a social media manager? Do you all agree with that?
I have
Stop
no
what?
idea.
What am I doing?
I don't know.
I was
I
just
don't know.
talking.
Oh, people are saying you sound muffled, Callie. I think you sound okay on my end, but it was like that one other time you sounded great to me. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about Mia. I do want to talk about them. I want Candace on the show again. I don't want her tuned out, Karen, if you watching. But anyway, what do y'all think about that? Do you really think she has a social media manager? Miss Mia.
I don't know whether or not she has a social media manager, but I will say that I find her entertaining on Twitter. I like that she answers. I mean, just think about it. We found out because of her answering general people's questions, that the reason that a scholar was even invited to the reunion was because Mia actually had decided at one point that she wasn't going.
She
And
did.
she said that she didn't want to go because she didn't think that the platform was beneficial to her and her husband. And I was assuming, thinking about quitting because she talked about, y'all want to talk about Candace's and colorism. That girl referred to her in a very masculine way a few times.
She
Is
called her
that
a handsome man. What she call
LBGTQ
her?
issue handsome?
She called her
And
handsome.
right. And the things that that she had been referred to. Now, I don't agree that, that's everybody goes through that. Everybody, it's not a person up there that hadn't been cussed out. I don't that I can remember that hasn't been. I don't know if Robin has been.
Cussed out?
Yeah.
Well, she had an umbrella to her neck, so.
But I mean, it wasn't to the went off on her. I don't know. But they all have had somebody go off on them at some point. They all have had rumors out there and people have said mean things to them. And it's just, she got to toughen up. But I don't want her to leave.
She does need to toughen up. I feel like if you're going to be on this reality TV show, you have to be tough. I mean, some of the stuff that are said about these ladies, I don't know if I could want to do this all the time.
Y'all saying Candace is not tough?
No, Mia. Candace
like
is
Mia.
tough. Even though she cries, that doesn't mean
tough.
She's not tough. Yeah.
Mia's just trying to play like she ain't. Mia know good well she's good for the show.
And I want to bring this up because I think you're right, Callie. Do you think that was Mia's way of trying to get Candace off the show? Because she said she who will not be named has said all these things about me. And I'm thinking about not coming back if she's there.
Yeah, Mia's just talking mess. Mia knows her assignment and she plays it well. And that's why we like her, I think.
I do like Mia. I really like everybody on this cast.
I would assume that at this point they would have gotten their new contracts.
Whether I heard they did.
Signed or not, maybe, something totally different. But
and Candace is coming back, I heard. Mia made up lies saying that they don't have this on the other show, which are lies. That's true. And I don't think maybe she don't watch them shows because they all done called each other prostitution whore. Okay. And she
came especially that one. Yeah. Especially that one.
or what? I mean, like, you got everybody's been, and she came after Candace as if she was the one making. Yes, she did. She did come after Candace. When Mia said she be lying about. She said she doesn't lie.
It. And you know what I like? It was kind of like, to me, she's kind of like a young Karen. Like she just says stuff. Sometimes but I like her. It's a bougie, delusional. I laugh at me. I guess is what I'm saying. She's funny to me.
She's laughable. But I think as long as she's okay with people laughing at her.
Yes. Like if she gets to that point, that girl will be TV gold.
But I like her better than Monique. I would say that.
Yes. Well, the difference between Monique manufactured too much to me. It wasn't, in my opinion, she did a lot of faking for the cameras. She was so concerned about what she looked like. She didn't allow her authentic self to be shown, in my opinion.
So you think Karen needs to go? People like Karen.
You know what? I did a thing on, I did a question on Facebook, and the question was, let's take away all the emotion. The people that's watching, take away all the emotion. If, and what I mean by that is, we don't want to.
Please.
Okay. Keep going, Joy. Go ahead.
Take away all the emotion. Not, you don't want to say because you don't like this person. Of all the cast members, which would you like to see go? And what I mean by that is not about whether or not you like them. Think about their value
on the show
as a castmate, not in life. They're, they're as a cast. And a lot of people put Robin,
of course,
and Candace.
Really?
More Candace than Robin. Yeah. They put Robin, and I can respect Robin. Some put Ashley.
No.
And I always say, if you picking Giselle or Wendy, you just don't like them. I agree with those. Because there's no way, I may not like Wendy, but to say that she doesn't have value on the show would be a flat out lie.
Right.
To say Giselle doesn't have value, she's the show. She is a flat out lie. Now, when they got down to like Robin and Robin and I like Robin. I actually really like Robin. I really like her and Giselle, how they play off each other. But I understood why they pick her. Because Robin don't start no mess. Robin isn't that type of person. She shows up, she has fun, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of them are hosting something next year.
See what I don't understand is the people are like, I'm tired of the mess. I'm tired of the mess. Why they always got to be messy? But they want to get the least messiest person off the show.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
What? I didn't even think about that. Yeah. And the people that were saying
Candace,
the people that were saying Candace was saying it because they felt like basically she was a liability. It wasn't about that she evokes too many negative emotions. That's basically what they were saying about her. And the people that were saying Ash, which I could understand, even her. I like Ashley too, but I understood as far as bringing something to the show. And I'm one of those people that thought that Giselle got her in that mess to keep her on the show with Wendy. Because Ashley, you can't have two babies in a row. That's a recipe to be fired.
Get off, yeah. Well, they have had a petition to fire everybody on the show. Denise. There was a very for all of them. Somebody don't like somebody, but I do think Candace brings. I'm gonna tell you why I think people don't like Candace, because Candace is coming from a family that is able to take care of her, and people do not like that about her. They don't care that some of the other women's got their money from the husbands that they married, but they're so upset about Karen having a mother and a father that can help take care of her. Like every time they try to diss her, they say, well, her mama taking care of her. I bet her mama bought that house. But so what?
A lot of people were saying stuff, though, like, believe it or not, which I think is just pure irony, that she also brings a ghetto flair.
Candace?
Because I think it's the emotions.
Oh,
because that was a couple of the things that she brings street. And it's so ironic that this is the girl that ain't from the street.
Right.
There's no part of her that's street or ghetto, but she talks like it. Just think about this. Season 1, they was arguing about etiquette. Season 6, they arguing about your mama.
Right. Why get mad? I ain't mad at none of them, honey. I think if they all got it, get it. But some people, because one person even put, you mad at Candace's parents for taking care of her. But and I thought it was mean. But they was like, but you letting the government take care of you in the house you live in. And I was like, oh, that ain't nice, but it's probably
Who
true.
said that?
They said this to one girl. I think she got kicked out the group.
Oh.
Yeah, it's okay for the government to take care of you, but you mad because Candace mom. And I was like, that ain't nice.
And that's the only dig against Candace. It just don't make no sense.
It's the only dig they cannot stand that about Candace. And I'm like, I want to be that parent that takes care of my kids.
I was like, and I was just like, it ain't. Y'all do know that Candace and her mama live in 2 different states. Like her mom, she's running the business. Her mother may have financially invested it, but Candace runs the business. But it's jacked up that you don't even see that part of her life.
I'm not tagging you because you be in jail enough. No. There's nothing wrong with generational wealth in our community. So many of us have never seen it's foreign to us. We don't understand it. It's more reasonable for us to say, oh, she found a baller and he taking care of her. And now she's living large. Even though he cheating on her, beating on her, it's fine. But Candace's mom and dad are able to take care of her. And it's like a dig. Like they are a dig. I'm like, come on, people.
Dig her for having rich parents, dig her for knowing how to fight with her words. I mean, ain't nothing right about it, but let's just get her off the show so that everybody else will feel comfortable is what it seems like.
So you think that they don't feel comfortable because Candace can come back and cut them deeper?
Well, I don't know that. I mean, that's what they're proving. That's what they're proving. They always say she comes harder. Just like we have said sometimes, I've never said it, but it's definitely been said before outside of this show. She comes too hard. She overdoes it. She goes further than anybody should, even though, we don't have any control over how far she goes. But the problem for me is that no one ever addresses what it is that she's responding to. So she really thinks she can't, Denise. She can't catch a break.
I think that they don't talk about what she's responding to is because her reaction makes them the only thing they remember. Yeah. Sometimes you can react to the point where people are mad at you for something that someone's done to you because your reaction is so severe. They forgot what the person did to you to cause their reaction. That's why she needs to not react that way every time. You have to stop.
What about? I mean,
at a point.
How many times do you just stay mad at her instead of fixing the problem? Without causing her the problem.
Now that I have no idea. And I think that Candace is not going to, because I'm going to say, we are the only things we can control. We can't control anybody else. And I feel like Candace needs to control herself to the point where it makes other people look bad. Like if you sit there, because I feel like when Giselle sit there, when Wendy went off on her, when she just sit there and just took it and stood in it, it made Wendy look like a fool. More than it made Giselle. Sometimes you have to sit there and let them make themselves look foolish. And if Candace can learn to do that, not in every situation, but maybe once or twice, people will start to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like she can't just keep going. I think that's what people cannot connect with her sometimes. It's because most human beings will be just like, I'm tired.
But some people should not always have to change who they are just to make you comfortable.
But if you're on TV, sometimes you got to.
Well, sometimes. So when is that going to apply to somebody else, though?
I don't know. I feel like the other ones do stop, though. I feel like they do after a while. Stop.
Really?
I feel like Ashley stops after a minute.
Only when she was pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Because
when she was, and so people got that reprieve when you're
pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what happened. Ashley, that baby helped her.
I can see that.
Got a reprieve from her. Her baby is her saving grace. I will say that because she was a terror. She was a terrorist. Nobody liked Ashley forever. Monique, none of them. And see, Candace is still holding on to that because Karen hated her. Remember when she was like, that's why your husband going to jail, clink, clink. That was about Michael. She wanted Ashley's husband to go to jail. That's how much she disliked them.
Yeah, she's never done anything or said anything. Well, maybe that's not true. I was going to say she's never done anything or said anything that then I got to think about the bed so I'll just hold my comment.
And see, okay, Denise, you're right. In my opinion, it's like political mess. Nobody liked Trump because of his mouth and not because of things he's done. I think it's the same with Candace. People worry about the reaction. That's what I'm saying, Denise. Then what's the cause? Her reaction is so severe. People forget what has been happening, what people have done to her. And
because you would think that people would remember that and not come at her wrong.
I don't know. I wouldn't. You heard me.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think that was what was a part of Karen's threat. Part of her threat was people are going to tune her out. And if you
so we should really be tuning Karen out.
You can't ever have, this is a conversation, this is a group of women where they keep their job based off of the amount of drama that they have.
Except for Candace.
You have this, Candace has placed herself in a situation where people are not going to want to have any kind of conflict with her. So they just are now going to just ignore the situation. She's going to she's going to have the effect that you see on Wendy is now getting about Giselle. People don't like Giselle. They love to hate her. And if you look at Twitter last night, you would have thought that Giselle was a fan. Number one favorite.
Now, sometimes they would be like, "Now I don't like Giselle, but girl, you need to stop."
Because she goes, because she's sitting already. She's sitting on so much anger that to the point where people like, "Girl, really? You're going to make her almost a martyr, so to speak, because of how you're coming after her." And it's the same thing that's the effect of what happens between Mia and Candace.
It is. That's
where
what happened.
Mia was flat out wrong for going to talk to her mother. Candace had every right to confront her, to say whatever she needed to say to her. But what happened was when she confronted her, Mia said something that hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
Because your video was low budget, and which caused another set of insults and situation that would happen later. But the reality is she came at her so hard and the situation was so severe that Mia came out looking good.
She looked better.
Came out looking like the enemy.
That's why I said
say whatever you want about what's right or what's wrong or who's light skinned. This is an example of colorism and all of that. It's just the reality of what we're watching. People are real people who have real feelings. And we react based off of what we see the other person doing. Because if that's the reason why Karen and Giselle can cuss each other out and say all those crazy things to each other. But because they're not mad, we ain't mad about it. We don't even say
they don't even care. The only time I can say that it was bad was when they was in that hotel lobby and she said that he wanted to sleep with Erica Lyles. Now, I don't think they had a production meeting about that.
Elder abuse.
That was wrong. I don't think they had a production meeting about it. And the t-shirt. I think those were the two things that Karen did not agree to have said and done to her. Other than that, I feel like they are able to work it out.
My favorite line is when Karen said, "You tacky as hell."
You tacky as hell. Yeah. So she said, I do like, because I'm not gonna lie, I love Candace's comeback sometimes. They so smart sometimes and they so quick. And I'd be like, yes, girl, get them. But then she just keeps going. If she would just stop, oh my gosh, she would be a change. Because I feel like Kenya stops. I feel like Phaedra stops. Their shade, and Nene stops. And their shade is so good that it makes you think. You know what I mean? But Candace she's like going, like the Energizer damn bunny. She's so little and she just keep going.
I think she wants it to hurt. Mia, I think the reason she kept going and going with Mia is because nothing was landing. If y'all go back and watch that bed scene, she was like, "Girl, your feet is big, your big old feet." She was like, "Girl, what's wrong with my feet?" And God made you basic. She got that compact. She was like, "Girl, I ain't basic." She was like, something about you had no business to talk to my mom. She was like, "I actually aspire to be like your mom." Well, my mom ain't gonna be on that corner. She was just like, so, and I think
kept going.
She wasn't reacting. It was making her more and more mad. She wanted to get a reaction out of her. And I think people, they do that with Giselle. They've been trying to get a reaction out of her, and you're not. Whatever reaction Giselle might have behind closed doors is there. It ain't gonna be in front of us.
And I do like that Karen said that about her. It's like, I know that you have this armor up because of what you've been through, and you're going to protect yourself. And I can see that's why she does that. But when it comes to her kids, that's her soft spot. But I don't think people should. And I feel like if people learn that and they think they saw that, I just pray they don't use that softness about her kids against her. I don't think any of them will. I don't think on this cast. Yeah, honey, she wear that size 12. Do we have anything else? I'm trying to think what else in my notes.
I'm gonna log out so I can get logged into the other call, but y'all can keep going.
Oh, okay, I did. Go ahead. I want to talk about a Scott. Why they let her come out for 2 minutes? She got that dress that Callie loves.
Did y'all hear what Mia said?
Right, like they let you come out to say 2 sentences. Yes. Why did they do that to that girl?
Oh, funny.
Why did they do that to her? Not the talking about her feet. I mean, like did they pay for her to get there? I pray, because she was out there for 2 freaking minutes.
And it's like you brought them receipt. It was so funny.
That
was funny when Candace said, "Girl, why are you looking at the receipts like you ain't seen them?"
That's what I'm saying. Candace, when she's in her element, Candace is good. She was like, you sitting there reading the receipts like you didn't write them. Perfection, Candace. I love this Candace. It's just the going. Candace has to learn to tone it down. She has a budding music career. I haven't bothered to listen because it's a really good album. They said it is good. I think you should at least listen. If you like Toni Braxton type of Tamar type of stuff, she kind of has their vibe. Now you know she was out there. Mia shaded her so well. I feel like this about Alaska or whatever. A scholar. A scholar is a star. No, Kenya is a scholar. What is it?
What?
How do I know? Yeah, Kenya is a scholar. That's how I remember. A scholar. I feel like she's like very shaky voice. Do y'all feel that, or is it just me?
Oh yeah,
when she talks,
yeah. She doesn't. She's not loud. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It does have like a vibration to it.
Like she nervous or something.
I don't think.
Do you think she'll come back as a friend or full time? What do y'all think?
I've heard that she's coming back as a friend.
A friend. That's what I heard. Not a fool.
She was coming back as a friend. I'm surprised they're going to keep that cast, because I was looking at that cast with all of them. It's 8 of them. Is it normally 8?
It's normally 7 and a few friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
New York had a problem because they only had 5, and I think that's why it was the worst. A gal look pretty and has a vocal. What's a vocal fry? I don't know what that means. A friend, I think. Yeah, she's coming back as a friend.
Yeah, as a friend. I heard she was coming back as a friend.
So is there anything else y'all want us to talk about before we're not doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, because I heard it was Argument City and I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either. I am going to watch it. I taped it.
Are you? I don't think I'm going to watch it. I did want to
learn to tone it down. She has a buddy music. And that's something else. I was wondering, would she come back? It just seems like this show could possibly be more harmful than helpful to her music.
For her career. I do want us to kind of get through the colorism thing, because I really want to talk about that. But I think it causes a lot of emotion. And I think as Black people, it's kind of an emotional topic. So maybe we'll just do a whole show to colorism and we're going to make it through. Because I had this up. I was ready to talk about it.
Do y'all think that colorism exists on the show? If so, can you give me an example?
And if y'all want to, after we get off, y'all can watch it.
There was actually one incident that stands out that I thought was colorist.
What was that?
And it was at the reunion last year when Giselle said that Karen mentioned that Wendy wasn't like them, or didn't belong in that group. Mm-hmm. That is the only time that colorism stood out in my mind. I'm not saying it didn't happen before, but I specifically remember that because it made me feel some type of way. I was actually disappointed that Karen would say something like that. And I didn't think it was cool that Giselle actually repeated it.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't have said it.
I would have never repeated that, even if it was true.
But okay, and I want y'all to go back and look. I want you to look at Wendy's skin color on the reunion and go look at her book cover. I don't understand. Yeah. And it's about my Nigerian mother, and she's not showing her Nigerian skin. And I think it's the viewers really have made her feel like she has to wear this orangey makeup to be beautiful. And I think she's beautiful as her skin color. So I don't know why she's doing that.
Does anybody mention it? We have to listen on. Yes, it exists. Wendy and Candace seem not to be protected. I don't. What is unprotected? Tell me of a situation that's unprotected. I think that Candace gets a lot of heat because of the things that she says and the person that she targets. I think had it been a situation where she had targeted somebody that was coming back just as hard as she would, it wouldn't be so bad. The reason in my opinion, that it looks bad from Candace is she targeted Mia, and Mia ain't that type of girl.
Yeah.
She's not the type of girl to keep going backwards and forward like that. She may have things to say, but not like that. Everybody, this thing about that she's an orator or whatever.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Wordsmith. I don't think it's necessarily true. I don't think her shade, because I do think there are categories of shade. Yes.
It is.
If somebody said, Joy, I'd have turned this into a lesson. I do think there are levels of shade. I thought Phaedra did it well because she never was loud. She never cursed. And she said things that you almost was like, did you just say what I think you said? You know, or she like, I don't know why I love this scene, but like one of my favorite little Phaedra shady moments was when Kenya was somewhere doing something and they asked Kenya to do something, and Kenya was like, I would rather take this pen and stick my eyes out than to do that. And Phaedra said, anybody got a pen?
I have a question. How are the light-skinned women being protected? By who? Who's protecting
that's
them?
what I'm, and give me an example. Y'all keep
we need to have, I mean, it's almost 7.
I need an example. I'm not saying that what you said is true. I just want to, we just want to reminisce on the example. And maybe
I think we need to like set aside a time to have this show because it's already 7. We've been on here like an hour and 30. But I do want to talk about colorism, just not on the show, but colorism just in general. So I think we do need to set a time. Y'all can give us some examples, but here's an example. And everyone laughed when Ashley admitted her colorism move of saggy tire titties.
I think they was her breast, but she didn't admit that it was satire. She admitted that it was irony. She was talking about what's her name, saggy breast, and she after breast.
She said it's my karma.
She got her own.
She said I got my own karma.
She got her own karma.
Yeah.
And basically, that was really a talk to Candace. Like, keep talking about folks.
Keep talking about people, and you're going to get this karma too. What did y'all think about when she said, I want your bob to stop weaving?
Who said that? I heard that.
Ashley said that to Candace.
Oh, did she? All I can hear is Nene in the background saying, what's wrong with the bob? Nothing. So that bob is tight. Y'all remember when Nene said that about Claudia's wig? She had that bob wig on, and she said it was tight. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, see, that's what I feel like. I feel like sometimes people are elitist on the show. They feel like Mia was classist and elitist.
Yeah.
On the show.
But I think they're all elitists.
Yeah, they all are.
I do think that now that's a different conversation. To say that she particularly is an elitist, absolutely. But you can also say the same thing about Wendy last season.
Gosh.
That was her entire conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That was her entire conversation. Bragging about your education. If that is elitism, that's the example that most people would put. Bragging about how much money you make, what you got, what ain't nobody else got. That's elitism. And I think those are some of the things that people get confused with, because that's not colorism.
Mm-mm. That's why I think we're going to set aside a show on colorism. I don't know when. It might be when Potomac goes off.
My daughter says she wants to do that. Why don't we do it next week?
Let's do it.
Cause y'all off next week. Cause I'm all off next week.
I'm not, but I can be. Y'all just let me know what day we doing it, and I will take off.
Look, I'm off in the daytime and in the evening.
I think it's best to do evenings because more people, if you look, came on at 6. It seems like we get the most people about 5:36. So let's find a day next week. If y'all want, y'all can tell us in the comments or message us and let us know. Because we need to have a conversation.
Bob Weave was the read of the night.
Bob and Weave was the best read ever. What's your question, Denise? While I'm eating my fry. I ain't supposed to be eating. Ask your question, then we're gonna have to get off here, y'all.
Oh, Charlotte was saying that Giselle's father, her father was the first black man to own a gas station in Louisiana. Descendants of the Whitney plantation. To me, she's a bit elitist, not colorist. I think that a lot of them are. I can't argue with that. I think
they're elitist.
I mean that. But I thought that was the premise of the show.
Your question.
The whole first season was about 6:30ish. That's
what 6:30 your time because you're Eastern. Yeah. We're Central.
Yeah, we're Central.
So 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern.
Yeah, but I think that all of the whole show. Remember the original?
It was all about etiquette.
It was about etiquette. It was about elitism. It was associated initially. The premise of the show was supposed to be elite women that were associated with the boys, not the Boys and Girls, the Jack and Jill Foundation. And to even get into that foundation, your parents have to make a certain amount of money. So those people were, that's what, and it was surrounded around Sharif.
It's kind of about like our kind of people. Have you all watched that show?
Correct. Yeah.
That's really what it's kind of like.
Yeah. So I thought that
you got a question
because I think that's what invokes so much argument between a lot of the viewers on what direction they see the show. I thought that this show was created as kind of like a black version of Beverly Hills. Because Atlanta was its own entity, but we kind of watched everybody have their glow up. All of them.
Let's see your question.
We watched it in real time. Nobody other than Deshaun, and they got rid of her. Lisa Wu, they got rid of them so quickly. They came in this situation with money. You know what I'm saying? Most of them, Nene didn't have no money for real. Sheree had money and lost it.
Yeah.
By the second season, so the glow up just wasn't able to happen. I mean, we watched their glow up.
Yeah.
Whereas these women were giving us the appearance that whatever they had, they already had from episode 1.
So this is a question, and then we can leave after this. Do you all think that people who have experienced colorism can see it more than others who haven't? Possibly.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I don't know. I mean, I've always been like the only black person at my job, a few times. I work in local government, so, but I don't know. Maybe so.
I think that some things, I don't think every issue that we've seen that people have pointed out as colorism is colorism. I just don't.
Ron got it on his books. Right.
But one I don't like, and I'm not always comfortable with, the stereotypes. Yeah, I did hear that.
I did too.
Nene drove, I did, a Murano. I heard that.
Ain't nothing wrong with a Murano.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, they said that we watched they glow up is what I'm saying. We watched it. So this show was to show, I mean, that's why Candace, you have to think about it. Candace, as cute and petite that she is, and she was getting married. She wasn't married anybody rich. She came into a situation kind of privileged. And her first season, she talked about her privilege, which was what her parents could do. I mean, I want to say, if memory serves, they spent
$100,000 on her wedding.
Over $100,000 on her wedding. Girl, $15,000, and I thought I was gonna die.
Right.
So
Yeah.
how you gonna pull this off? It's 6 months.
But I think some of the words that people have just used and just kept using is colorism, gaslighting. What's another one? Karma. It's like somebody said those words once, and now that's in every post. Karma, gaslight, and colorism.
I hope so too. Say Heidi.
Oh no, yeah, she's fine. She's doing a class with Melody Holt. I don't know if you all watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. It starts at 7. So she had to get off. So she's fine. She just had to get off. She doesn't send us a picture of Melody. She sends it to us all the time, what she looked like that day. So yeah, she's fine.
Callie and I'll be fine. We
oh yeah, they fight. And I just sit there like
that's the funniness of us. We always on two ends.
They go at it, honey. And I just be sitting there like, can we all just get along? I'm Rodney King in this dang on moment, okay? Every week I'm Rodney King.
And look, and when they don't get along, I be like this.
Joy be happy when we don't get along. One time me and Kathy I am going to show the video. Joy was like, because it wasn't her. She was so happy, y'all.
So I was like, oh,
so happy. Yeah, she's on that master class. Yeah, but she was like, I'm gonna post a video later. But yeah, we're fine. We will argue sometime. I don't argue with them that much as they argue with each other.
Candace, yes.
Candace did work for the Obama administration. Like Candace has cool.
Yeah.
I think some of the people who wrote her letters to get into her master's program were like the Obama damn. Like her family knows people. You know what I mean? But so we're gonna come back. Heidi, let us know, since you really seem interested in colorism, when you're free next week, and the other people too, because I want to just do a show on it. And we're gonna have emotions, but we're gonna try to hold them back and be civil, but it may not happen. It just might not. So y'all let us know, and we'll do it next week. You can message us on Chatter Up, or you can message me. I'm Montique Joy. I'm Montique Luster. Joy Muhammad. I think she's in the thing. So, and Callie is Callie Chatstick. So, yay, Velma. Okay, so we'll put a date out. I'll do a StreamYard. And y'all know you can come on here with us. You don't have to show your face. You can show an avatar, and you can talk. So this is mine. If I don't want to show my face, you can show your picture. You can show whatever. It can be what does Callie call it?
Quick? How do you switch that quick?
Hit stop camera, start camera. It's at the very bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's Joy's. So if y'all want to come and talk and be on here, you don't have to show your face. You can show your avatar. And we would love to just hear what you all have to say about the colorism issue. So it'll be sometime next week. All righty. It's next week's Thanksgiving week. Yes. Oh, yeah, I'll be home a lot too that week too. So yeah, let's do it. Yeah. All right.
And people will be home in the daytime.
Yeah, they probably will.
Even on Wednesday.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
If y'all think Wednesday is good, let us know. That's the 23rd, maybe. Let us know, and we'll do Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah.
All right, and we'll do Monday for Potomac too. We can't get Potomac on
Wednesday.
Monday.
Is the 24th.
The 24th. Okay.
Yeah.
So Monday 5:30. Wednesday 5. Well, whenever. We don't know what time. But all right, y'all. We're gonna get off of here. I got my food. I'm supposed to be eating before 7. Y'all making me mess up my intermittent fasting, but it's all right. I love y'all. Y'all ready to peace it out?
Peace out.
Peace. Let me end this.